Welcome back everyone to another episode of Gourmet Wild. Today we're going to be making some venison Wellington with a side of buttered cabbage. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is start preparing our ingredients. We're going to take some milk, we're going to saturate the white bread so that we can mash it up. We're going to take an apple, we'll peel it, and then we'll grate that. We'll take some parsley and chop it. Take an onion, chop it as well. The onion, if it's just a little smaller one, you could use the whole onion. In this case, it's a large onion, so I'm just going to use half of it. And then with our mushrooms, we'll take maybe 4 or 5, depending on the size of the mushroom cap, and we're going to chop those as well. Alright, now that we have our ingredients prepared to start cooking, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of olive oil in a pan and get it brought up about medium heat. We'll go ahead and add our onions in. Let them start to cook a little bit. Once they start getting tender, we're going to add the mushrooms and let them cook a little bit with them. As soon as that kind of mixture comes together, after a couple minutes, we're going to add the garlic in and let it cook for about a minute, and then we're going to remove all of that from the heat, give it a chance to cool down before we do our next step. Alright, we're going to go ahead and let our onions cook for just a couple of minutes, basically let them get tenderized, and then we're going to be adding in our mushrooms at that point. We'll let those cook for a little bit longer, probably another couple minutes, and at that point we'll put in the garlic, let it cook for right at around a minute, and then remove this mixture from the heat altogether. Alright, while our onion, mushroom, and garlic mixture is cooling, I'm going to go ahead and put some ground venison on. I'm going to basically salt and pepper this, as well as put just my favorite blend, which is just like a steak and chop seasoning blend. I'm going to lightly brown this. I'm not worried about cooking it all the way through because it's going back in the oven as part of the cooking process, but I do want to go ahead and cook it a little bit so I can drain off some excess liquid that may come out of it, because I'm going to be adding the apple and also the onion and mushroom mix, as well as the bread that was soaked in milk. So there's going to still be a lot of moisture, and I don't want it to be too much and basically saturate the pastry and make it real soggy. Alright, now that we have our onions and mushrooms cooled, we're going to add a tablespoon of Dijon mustard, the mashed piece of white bread that's been soaked in milk, as well as our apple and our parsley. So we get that all in the bowl, we're going to stir it thoroughly. Now that we have our mixture ready, the next step is we're going to take 2 eggs, we're going to whisk those up. So what we're going to do is add half of that to our mixture, and then we're going to spoon in our ground venison, and we're going to mix that all together. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and take our puff pastry and set out a baking pan. Go ahead and put the first sheet down. We're going to take our mixture, and what we want to do is spoon that mixture into the middle of the puff pastry. But I'm going to make 2 of these with this pack, so what I'm going to do is use the bottom. I'm going to start here so that I can fold this pastry in half, and then I will crimp the sides down with a fork. Now I will take, I'm going to fold this over. Nice. And then I'm going to work the sides all the way around it. And I'll make 2 of these. Alright, now that we've got our pastries built, we're going to put those in the refrigerator for about 30 minutes, give them a chance to chill. In the meantime, we're going to set our oven for 200 degrees, and we'll go ahead and start preparing our cabbage as well. Alright, so for the cabbage, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You're going to take a cabbage, going to cut it into basically squares, or whatever you want to cut it into. You're going to make a full packet, put the cabbage in the middle, put some salt, pepper, and some butter in it. And this will actually go in the oven at the same time as our Wellington, and they will cook together, so they should be finished at the same time. Alright, now that our pastries have chilled for 30 minutes, we're going to take what was left of the eggs that we beat earlier, and we're going to lightly brush those over the outside. Then we're going to put the pastries and the cabbage in the oven, let those cook for 40 minutes. Alright, we've washed our pastries with the remaining egg. Time for them to all go in the oven. Put our cabbage in. And our pastries. Set 200 degrees. And we will set it for 40 minutes.